Huge shout out to the sponsors that keep this podcast rolling. First up, we have CTS Media. If your business needs better content, a fresh website, or full service digital marketing, CTS Media has you covered. Photography, videography, social media management, social media creation, Google Ads, Meta Ads, everything your business needs to look legit online, because let's face it, if you're not doing these things, you're falling behind to your competitors in today's world. Check it out at ctsmedia.org, link in description below. Next up, we have Shred It, You're On. They solve the classic problem every rider has. Your action cam blocks your jersey. Their jerseys keep your kit visible on camera and look sick doing it. Grab one at shredityourOn.com. Finally, we have Gutter Getters, your go-to for home maintenance. Whether it's gutter cleaning, roof care, pressure washing, small repairs, deck repairs, they handle it all. Hit the link or give them a call below. Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ridin The Line Podcast. As always, we got your hosts, myself, Ross Monckton, alongside Cason Smith, coming at you from Georgia, man, down in the southeast. It is now December, right? What is it, the first?
Barely.
Yeah, it is now the first. So happy December to everybody. I hope everybody's getting out there fighting seasonal depression, riding, doing what you can. So much love to everybody. Thank you for listening. Also, just wanted to take a quick second and shout out to all the listeners. Again, thank you guys. Not going to make a big long-winded soliloquy here, but we're trying to hit that 1,000 follower subscriber mark on YouTube. So if you can hop on YouTube, click that subscribe button for us, no matter what platform you're listening on. So that is our goal. Let's just go ahead and make it a goal for this year. But enough about that. Let's let Cason intro our guest today.
Yeah, man, we have got a phenomenal one that is super close to me, actually, family, which is killer, and also happens to be an incredible icon within the cycling industry as well as the motocross industry. He has essentially been around motocross his entire life, ever since he came out of the womb, and dabbled into some mountain biking. Was at one point racing very, very high level mountain bike racing. He's a jack of all trades, very fast on a dirt bike, very fast on an XC bike, very fast on a gravel bike. He's quick on an enduro bike. He does it all, man. And now holds a pretty sick role at one of our favorite companies, Troy Lee Design. So without further ado, welcoming Justin Martin to Ridin The Line.
Thanks, boys. That was quite the bar that you set there. Some pretty big shoes to fill. I hope I can fill them even slightly with that intro. But yeah, no, stoked to be on the podcast. Stoked to see what you're doing. Obviously, in this space that I've grown up in, you as well have also grown up in. So it's cool to figure out a way to make a living with our passions, right? But yeah, Justin Martin, as Cason said, been avid two-wheel enthusiast since my dad put me on a PW50 when I was 2.5 years old. Dad being Dave Martin. Dave, along with two other business partners, started a little shop called Honda of Houston in Texas. I was born in 91. Dad started that shop in 93, 94. And so just like Cason said, I grew up inside of a motorcycle dealership, for better, for worse, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it's turned me into the human that I am today. And also rinsing and repeating with my 1.5-year-old son, Jagger. So yeah, keeping to the program, Martin Family Racing, as we used to call it. But no, man, it's exciting. Been living in Colorado for 7, almost 8 years now. We based in Colorado Springs. What brought me to Colorado is just wanting a change from Texas. Was also getting my teeth kicked in by a bunch of really talented humans that live at altitude. My racing discipline of choice was endurance side of things, cross country, which then turned to gravel as the gravel scene got really big. But didn't start dabbling in enduro stuff until we were up in Colorado. But yeah, been a big pedal guy since I got out of college. Just wanted to be a professional athlete. So felt like I fell a bit short with that with the moto side of things, and or I just didn't have it. But yeah, the bicycle journey has been really rad on many different fronts. It's created a lot of cool opportunity for me, both in the cycling industry as well as the moto industry, which is pretty cool. Both sides of that two-wheel space obviously go hand in hand. But yeah, it's giggles and grins living here in Colorado. Chase the cross country scene pretty hard, and then gravel scene, like I said, really hard. Built what I thought was a solid racing platform for a privateer racer. Definitely leaned on the benefits of social media to help me gain some traction and help me gain some support while I was trying to build an engine to at least be somewhat relevant in the pro field. But yeah, that kind of ran its course for my wife, really held it down and let me chase that dream for 8 years or so. And then we got pregnant with Jagger, and being a professional athlete for me at that time wasn't quite paying the bills too well, but was finally able to check boxes that I chased since I was 7 years old of just wanting to quote unquote make it, right? And yeah, funny enough, I was working full time at Criterion Bicycles here in Colorado Springs. Really awesome, badass, specialized, and other top manufacturer line bike shop. And the wife gave me an opportunity to go to Denver Supercross. Jagger, my son, was I don't know, a handful of weeks old, maybe a month old. And I was like, no, we've got a kiddo. I can't leave you. And then she was like, no, you should go. And I was like, boop, 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 boop. Okay, I'm going. We've got to pass. So we went to Supercross, and it's kind of funny how the world works, right? I felt like I was pushing a big rock up a mountain, especially with, having the kiddo thing down the pipeline and not very much monetary income to coming in to really help live the life and or lifestyle that I wanted to live with my family and my children. And so went to Denver Supercross and was hanging out, having a good time. That was the first time Dad got out of the house, so we were definitely letting loose a little bit. And yeah, it's just crazy how the world works. I was happened to be hanging out in the TLD rig a little bit, like not in the rig, outside the rig. Will Hahn, as you know, Cason. Will Hahn is a good friend of ours. He was a rider of my dad's, Honda of Houston, Sean's, for a long time, along with his brother Tommy Hahn. And so, yeah, just shooting the shit with Will, kind of like hanging out in some TLD Kool-Aid, so to speak, without even really knowing it. And yeah, anyways, the night show program started, and I decided that I need to use the restroom. And as I was in the restroom, I heard my name being called by at that time the director of sales for the West Moto line with TLD. A gentleman named Adam Bebout, known Adam for a long time, since I was working the parts counter at my dad's motorcycle shop. When he used to, at that time, was working for Fox, overshadowing a legend in the this industry sales space, JJ Pessock, another mentor of mine, another rider of my dad's, who's badass Texas pro. Anyways, yeah, Adam was like, hey, dude, what are you doing in Colorado? And I kind of got him caught up to speed. And he was like, do you want to meet the CEO of Trolley Designs? And I was like, well, I've got a Modelo in my hand, so let me get rid of this. And yeah, we'll go put the sales face, so to speak. Sellers are always selling, right, boys? But yeah, so got to meet John Eric, who at that time as well was also our CEO. And yeah, one thing led to another, a couple phone calls led to another. And yeah, I was blessed with this opportunity to get my foot in the door in the motorcycle industry again, which is awesome because my life did a complete full 360 from being all into the pedal space after leaving the moto space when we moved to Colorado, to then being back full tilt into the moto industry. Called my dad, Dave, gave him the update, let him know that I took the job. And yeah, he was super stoked. He was sorry, not sorry that I was back in the motorcycle business. A lot of us in this industry and or the pedal bike industry or whatever, it's got this like very suction uh sensation ability. But for me, it's my home. I am very blessed to be able to make a very good living. Literally talking to people about motorcycles and dirt bikes and where they rode over the weekend, where they're riding this coming weekend, what bikes they're riding. So it's obviously more than that, but when you break it down, it really seems to be as simple as that. Um,
Sounds a little like us, man.
yep, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Go ahead.
what's your role in TLD?
So it's when I first started with the brand, they hired me. So I'm internal employee. So I'm a factory rep is what they called me. When I first started, I just started handling Colorado and just moto only. They wanted me to hone in on the moto line. Obviously, I do feel like I can speak both the moto and the bike lingo from working bike retail for 6 years and then being born in the moto side. It is a different customer, kind of similar, but product buyer is vastly different. But anyways, I speak the moto lingo, so they had me hone in on the Colorado moto territory. So essentially, I handle all of our motorcycle dealer accounts that interact with our brand. And
Okay.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Colorado is a really awesome spot for not only motocross, but also the off-road community is really healthy. Leaving Texas, it was sad because as we know, like Texas, California, Florida, North Carolina, these are meccas for moto. I was
Yeah.
a little I knew obviously Colorado is massive for the pedal stuff, the bicycle side of things, but our moto community is very, very healthy. We've got a lot of really awesome shops, a lot of rad owners, and then just a really healthy, strong moto community, both for the off road and the racing side of things. But yeah, so starting off just in Colorado, and I wanted my footprint to be a bit bigger, so I was working with the U.S. Director and the internal team and pitched grabbing Utah, and so yeah, they expanded
There you
me
go.
to Utah and to New Mexico as well. And yeah, it's been giggles and grins, and once again, like by every handful of months, it seems like my footprint gets a little bit bigger. So now I'm also handling Arizona as well. So essentially, I'm for TLD. I'm the mountain guy. I'm handling essentially all of our
The whole
big key
mountain
accounts
region.
in the mountain territories. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The brand, the gear sells itself, like you guys said. I mean, TLD's been around for a long time. We're a household brand name, I feel, and so yeah, it's really awesome to have a cool story to talk about with Troy owning us again, and we being independent. That's a very rare story that you hear in our industries with it seems like just one big Pac-Man buying another big Pac-Man kind of a thing, and or getting a really kind of corporate style and feel, which we had for a short period of time. We had actually when I first started working for the brand. But no, giggles and grins. Troy, the whole company, we like to have a good time. We like to make products and designs that are completely out of the box and look fully custom, but our production runs and yeah, to work alongside Max, who's becoming one of my best friends, which is Troy's son. He is very similar as Troy, but also methodical and organized as well. Troy is an artist through and through, which is yeah, his vibes and his energy are addicting to be around, especially in that kind of creative space. But yeah, I'm swimming in the Kool-Aid, but the Kool-Aid tastes good. I used to have a couple photos of me from the early 2000s from Ponca City National, and our race team was supported by Troy and TLD, so I was working.
So this is a perfect segue because I'm about to steer this ship and make this 13 minutes about an hour long. And so I want to take literally everything you just said and pick it apart and starting from the beginning because I mean, of course, you're family to me, but there's a lot of stuff that I that I don't know that you've done and accomplished, like the specifics and stuff. So I want to go back. You said you were born into the motorcycle dealership with, my uncle, your dad, Dave at Honda of Houston. And so I want you to kind of dive into your amateur motocross career, and how did it go from you riding dirt bikes to you getting Loretta Lynn's titles, and going, how did all that happen? And just like start from the beginning. How did you start riding a little CRF 50 or a P dub and to winning races? And you were on, I mean, what I believe, you were on the verge of being a professional dirt bike racer at one point.
Yeah, real quick though, no Loretta's title. Definitely had
Okay.
an AMA national title championship.
Okay.
Top 6 at Loretta's though, so that was super cool. Yeah, goals of getting back to Loretta's, but we can chat about that in a little bit as well. But yeah, so born in the motorcycle shop, started on a PW50. My first race was in our warehouse with the service manager Mark Manis at the time, roundy while everyone stood around drinking beers and cheering. Really, my main deal at the track when I was young, like I had a lot of cool opportunity to be a fast dirt bike rider, but my dad never really forced me per se in terms of like structure or motos. He was just like, dude, I go to the track, I ride. So I'm taking you to the track and you're going to ride too, kind of a thing,
That's cool.
I
like that.
I always had fun riding the motorcycle when I was on 50s. But once again, it was just circling the track, nothing too crazy. We did some racing. Did I have joy in it? I think I was more concerned, and my dad will also agree with this, but I was more concerned with the snow cone stand, to be honest. Went to the track so I could get a snow cone or 7, and or a bunch of candy or whatever it was, and I also got to ride. But yeah, me and Van, he's 3 years or so younger than me, but we also had a very similar start with our racing, and we raced a lot together, especially on 60s and 80s. And at that time when we were both on 60s, my main concern was making sure Van was also circling the track, and so we were just off
So
just
real quick for our listeners, it's Van Martin you're talking about, and he is actually not related to you, just has the same last name, for our listeners. And how do you know Van, and then continue from there?
Yeah, well, no relation by blood, but basically related. We used to try and tell people we weren't related, but this conversation was too long-winded. Everyone thought Sean, his dad, was my dad, and then my dad, Dave, was grandpa. So I mean, it really fit the bill, and yeah, we just always kind of ran with it. But yeah, Sean basically got in at the bottom floor with my dad as well too, and then in turn started our race team, managed our race team. And then service manager, yeah, Sean is jack of all trades, still with the company as well, and it's new kind of entity and or form. But yeah, and then obviously Van, I grew up with Van. We traveled the country, getting to these races, hanging out in our race 18-wheeler. Van is my best friend, brother, like I said. Do anything for that kiddo, and so yeah, we just had fun. We wanted to get free snow cones and ride our dirt bikes and play dirt bike toys and ride our bicycles around the track, and that was really it. And it wasn't until I did a Ponca qualifier, and I'll never forget, it was at Austin Del Val Park in just outside of Austin, Texas, and I think I was in the 7 to 11 class, or yeah, it had to have been the 7 to 11 tail end of the 7 to 11 class. I finally got my first start. Like I got a whole shot, and I had no idea what to do with this. And I was just on the front, and I think I led like maybe a lap, half a lap, longer than I would have thought I would have led, and worked my way backwards a little bit. But yeah, it was after that, getting back to the truck, I looked at my dad. I was like, well, I think I want to try and get fast at this, And so from then on, it was just kind of plugging away. Van was also wanting to take it a little bit more serious as well, and so we were riding a couple days a week as much as we could. I battled the going and doing the normal schooling route with that sort of thing. So I didn't get to ride twice a week until I was probably into high school. Always wanted to be a homeschool kid. Obviously, all the kids that I were racing, especially when I started trying to do nationals and stuff, were homeschooled. So they're able to divest more time to the program, to the riding, to the travel, all that sort of thing. But Yeah, my Achilles heel, I think, on little bikes, especially as I started getting faster, was I was bouncing off the ground, unfortunately. So, yeah, I started breaking bones in kindergarten with the tib fib, and yeah, it seemed like maybe I'd get a couple years, but then there's a good block where it was like every year of just like breaking the humerus, breaking the wrist, breaking the humerus again, breaking the collarbones at the same time, and so I think
No,
that was a bit of my struggle.
Man, that's talent right there to break both your collarbones at the same time.
Yeah, on 60s.
You got a ragweed.
Yeah, we didn't get it enough juice off this triple step up and went cartwheeling.
Lord.
damn.
You've done some femurs too, haven't you?
No,
No?
knock on wood.
That was
Oh,
just your
thank
dad.
God,
Yeah,
dude.
That was just your dad, huh?
But yeah, I've done the humerus twice. That thing is held with plate and 5 screws. Collarbone's got a plate and a handful of screws in it too.
Did you see that recent picture of the X-ray of Travis Pastrana? You should, get on Instagram.
Oh,
and look at,
I've seen an X-ray of him though before, where it just shows all of his metal. Yeah, I not quite like that, but definitely got a little bit of that
You're
going on for sure. When it gets
you're
colder,
quarter of the way there, man.
yeah. We've been nothing too catastrophic over the last handful of years, but yeah, just kind of
Good.
bad luck and also what comes with kind of pushing speed as well. But yeah, then we petitioned to ride the novice class when we were got off 125s on big bikes, just because we felt like with how much I was getting hurt, we felt like I wasn't ready for the B class. So we petitioned with the AMA if I could ride novice, and they allowed it. So we kept that little approval letter, so to speak, in Dad's glove box, and we went racing in 2007 in the novice class. And yeah, I mean, I won everything in Texas in the novice class, a couple state titles at Freestone, and then went to Loretta's thinking I was gonna smoke everyone, and I lined up with 40 other dudes that were also just as fast as me in the novice class. I was like, what the we should protest maybe, or you probably all man. I don't think it's as like I was at Loretta's this past year and watching the BC class of the C class kids now, like our novice field in 2007, like I felt like the top 10 was pretty deep. I mean, the top 7, we were running pretty competitive lap times compared to the B class kids at that time. Not on the front, but like, 10th to 15th, 10th to 20th. But the kids now in the C class, obviously the evolution of all of sport, right, is crazy. But yeah, I mean, if I was racing the novice class today, I'd be getting worked by these kids. They're Jet Lawrence,
That's wild.
just doubling, breaking bumps, coasting in the corners, really amazing roll speed. But anyways, yeah, 2007 was bitching for me. I won title at Mini O's. Should have won all of the titles at Mini O's. My starts were just atrocious. And so came from the back, worked my way towards the front, won the Olympiad in the 450C class. So that means I won kind of the overall for both stock and mod class. And then, yeah, I went to B class in 2008. And Spring National was my first crack, and started on cut the track so I could start up front, just like I would always do in the novice class. And got my doors blown off by guys like Dean Wilson and Travis Baker and Taylor Futrell and Les Smith and all these OG dudes. And yeah, I got served some humble pie in the B class for sure. But yeah, gave it a crack, had a couple decent results at Mammoth in the B class. And so that would have taken me into almost my senior year of high school. And Mom was like, you're not going to be a professional motocross racer. And I was like, you don't know shit, Mom. Let me fill out these college applications because this B class is rough. And I can't even imagine what the pro class is like. So yeah, we
You don't know what you're talking about, Mom. Come on.
yeah, no, definitely grateful she pushed the college route for me at least. And so yeah, I started filling out college applications, and then I decided I was like, well, I might as well just go local pro, and went local pro for my last like senior year of high school, last year racing summer before heading off to college. And made some money racing the local level, beat a couple bad dudes at Three Palms one race that had me pretty stoked. And yeah, and then went off to college, and all of that racing stuff kind of got put on pause for a bit. And I lived the full college experience for 4 years. I think it probably taught me more about street cred and a common sense and time management and priorities over what the accounting class taught me, or even the business management class, or whatever it was, But yeah, played the college kid.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to St. Edward's in Austin, Texas. Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to got into A&M, College Station, but so did half my high school, and I just didn't want to go live in College Station. I thought Austin, Texas was a pretty rad city, and yeah, I got a cool private school education, but I got to have the social life of a UT kid. Freshman year, rushed a handful of fraternities, even though I wasn't going to do the fraternity life, but just so I can get into parties and get the full freshman.
I did a little of that
experience.
too, man.
But yeah, no, it was cool. I went to college and just closed it out of my mind that I was like, nope, I'm going to hang out. I'm going to get a 3.0, like, cause I wanted to still get decent grades and go to class. I enjoyed going to class. And I was going to graduate, and I was going to take over my dad's motorcycle shop. I figured that was just, that was just predetermined for me. That was my destiny. And that was at the time something that I wanted to do as well, So yeah, graduated in 2013, and then started working at my dad's shop. Positions that I hadn't done yet were like the finance side of things. So I was doing the finance, contracting deals, and then I started doing insurance as well. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting time for Honda of Houston. My dad was the economy. This was a handful of years after 2008, 2009, when we were seeing the fewest amount of motorcycle sales really in history. It was tough, and so things were getting a little murky there. And I wanted to do something a little bit different and step outside of dad's wing for a second, and also, being 21, 22, I was kind of money hungry, and I was carrying my insurance license. And so I was like, well, Dad, not everyone needs a motorcycle, but everyone needs insurance. So had an opportunity to start an insurance agency with a longtime customer of my dad that was already in that space. And so, yeah, I was essentially the face of this all-state insurance agency. Started that agency December of 2013 and or beginning of 2014. And so learned a lot at a very young age with the insurance stuff, but my happiness was through the floor. Wasn't doing very healthy things for my body, partying too much. I wanted the truck, had the watch, all the things. But yeah, happiness wasn't up there. And that takes us to like 2015, where I started riding mountain bikes with Sean and my dad again. That was kind of like the staple activity you did through the week for a few days after the motorcycle shop, and or before work or whatever it was. And so yeah, I got a full rigid Salsa El Mariachi single speed, and started pedaling.
Lord.
Yeah, started pedaling mountain bikes, and quickly realized that the single speed life was not for me. Got a
full rigid hard ass class, man.
Full rigid. Well, Sean, of course, that's what he was riding. Not a full rigid though, but he was riding a single speed. A lot of the guys were riding single speed. So he's like, "This is what you ride." I'm like, "All right, well, I'll go spend $1,500," and there I went, But
yeah. The difference of riding one of those in Houston, Texas, and riding where Ross and I live,
oh yeah,
you'd be screwed.
Yeah, well, there's some guys here in Colorado that rip single speeds, and they're gnarly. Yeah, absolutely gnarly. But yeah, I don't know. I started riding the mountain bikes and was like, wow, this is really cool, and my personality is very addictive, and I was like, well, I want to race these things. And so I found a cross country race because once again, that's what Sean was doing as well. And got, where was it? Double Lake in Texas. We did like a marathon XC course. I had no idea what I was signing myself up for. Brandon Lucas, who team manager of Mafia Racing still is, another huge proponent of kind of also getting me to where I'm at today as well. He kind of took me under his wing and let me join the Mafia Racing crew. And so, yeah, I ripped off the front in the Cat 1 or Cat 2, maybe, whatever it was, age group, something or another. And yeah, smoked him. Absolutely smoked him. And so I was like, this is sick. We're going to go all in. So Yeah, started racing.
Take all my money. Here you go, dude.
Started. Oh,
all
yeah.
the chips.
For
all
sure.
my
chips.
time.
I was like, well, I need a carbon fiber bicycle. So, or I need carbon wheels. I need something to do with speed and carbon. So, yeah, put a Epic, West End hooked me up with an
Nice.
Epic. It was like $3,500, aluminum frame, carbon wheels, put that on a credit card. I was like, oh, the dream will make this back for sure. And, and then,
Yeah.
started racing, did the Tembra series, which is the Texas mountain bike state series for the XC stuff, and race Cat 2 with a good handful of buddies of mine, Cody Haverfield being one of them. And Van was doing a little bit of racing as well, Cole Layson, handful of homies from Texas. But yeah, once again, smoked them, won every Cat 2 race. For the finale, I moved race Cat 1 on Saturday because they already had the state title wrapped up for Cat 2. Smoked those guys by a handful of minutes. So then Sunday I raced Pro Open and was like, yeah, I'm destined to do this. I'm gonna be a cross country pro. And I got my teeth kicked in by a bunch of badass Texas pros. I think I was 7th and I was doing absolutely no training. I was riding, I was partying still, pedaling, maybe 7 hours a week, if that, but yeah, I got my teeth kicked in, and I was like, I looked at Lauren, my wife, and I was like, her fiance at that time, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna give this a go, and yeah, I self-coached myself for 6 months of the fall, through the fall pro racing scene, and I'm a big, well, at the time, and maybe still am, unfortunately, that more is more, and no structure, and so I was kind of plateauing a little bit, and yeah, so then I started working with some coaches, and that's what really accelerated, I think, my path on the in the mountain bike scene. Yeah, full stick into that.
All right, quick break. Huge shout out to the sponsors that keep this podcast rolling. First up, we have CTS Media. If your business needs better content, a fresh website, or full service digital marketing, CTS Media has you covered. Photography, videography, social media management, social media creation, Google Ads, Meta Ads, everything your business needs to look legit online, because let's face it, if you're not doing these things, you're falling behind to your competitors in today's world. Check it out at ctsmedia.org, link in description below. Next up, we have Shred It, You're On. They solve the classic problem every rider has. Your action cam blocks your jersey. Their jerseys keep your kit visible on camera and look sick doing it. Grab one at shredityourOn.com. Finally, we have Gutter Getters, your go-to for home maintenance. Whether it's gutter cleaning, roof care, pressure washing, small repairs, deck repairs, they handle it all. Hit the link or give them a call below. All right. Thank you, guys. Back to the podcast.
Did a year.
What was
Go ahead.
question for you?
Yeah.
What was like, so when you like jumped up a plateau, like what was it that the coach did for you? Like if you can kind of like drill down in the specifics of that, because like I know a lot of people that I talk with are like kind of right there. They're like top level Cat 1 guys, right? And that once they go to that professional help,
Yep.
what was it specifically that kind of helped you jump over that hurdle or get over that plateau?
For sure. Side plug as well. I'm also endurance coach for 10-act championship coaching, coaching group that I've worked with that's coached me for the last 4 years. I've been coaching for them after doing it independently for just over almost 2 years now, I think. But anyways,
Nice.
what happened to me, and I think what happens to a lot of us, is you do a lot of the same thing when you just don't know, right? Whether you find that, if I just go ride really hard for an hour and a half and I do those a handful of times a week, like I feel better, the times are getting better if you're using, anything for bases like Strava segments or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to that concept of, a lot of times more isn't more, and just appropriately targeting muscle groups and zones, whether that's heart rate, power, to really dial in for the effort that you're doing, and so it's literally just, it's building blocks, right? And the beauty of the coach is they they are giving you or they're looking at a more bird's eye perspective of your training, along with the other life obligations that you have as well too, and so
Yeah.
it's just being a little bit more methodical. Some days you're riding easy, some days you're riding hard for really short periods of time, or you're riding kind of hard for a long period of time, but just it's like with anything that we do, if you break it down to a handful of pieces and you move the needle in a few different ends, obviously you're bringing the roof along with it as well too.
Yeah, so it's like almost like weight training, right?
Mhm.
For as far as like when you don't want to getting the same routine
Yep.
of, sitting there doing, 3x10s every single day,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
like you gotta mix all that up, and that's what's gonna get you stronger,
Yep.
make more power, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
Periodization, just like planning for the events that you have or the goals that you have later on
yeah.
down throughout the year, and learning how to get the body to peak at those times as well too.
Can
That's
you
cool.
also like, because you had your own coaching business for a while, so like dive into that, like what made you decide to start helping people, and how'd all that go?
Well, I mean, my journey with the bicycle has been really rad, and it's taught me a lot of things in many different aspects of my life, and yeah, what I found through getting my teeth kicked in by other badass humans, and or being so far deep in what we call the suffer box for long
Hmm.
periods of time, um, I learn and still learn a lot about myself from a mental, physical, and spiritual level. And that sounds very hippie, and it is, but if you've done anything in this kind of space, you know exactly what I'm talking about, in terms of being in that moment. And so a few different things. Being a racer, pro bike racer, and then working part-time at a bike shop, obviously my monetary income was very, very, very thin. And so thinking of supplemental income, I enjoy obviously passion for cycling, for endurance, same thing on the moto side as well too. And then having an opportunity to learn from a lot of really talented coaches. I work with Payson McKelvin, who obviously a
Oh,
lot of you
Payson's
guys
awesome,
know.
dude.
Yeah, I work
He's a
with
cool guy,
Casey
yeah.
when he was starting his really ramping into his pro racing dream as well. He worked for an organization called Williams Racing Academy. So yeah, that was the first coaching group that I worked with, and it was a cool opportunity to see their school of thought and what they did for their athletes in terms of structure and programs and all that sort of thing. Um, and so yeah, then started working with Jason Tullis at Tinac. And so anyways, it showed me that I really enjoy the craft and breaking down the effort that is required for the mountain bike or the gravel or the road or the moto or whatever it was. And so yeah, I just did an announcement and kind of created an LLC, created Stoke House Coaching. And just to see if I could get any traction on it. And yeah, and it grew pretty quick, and got to work with a lot of really rad athletes. And it was really cool. The bicycle, it's become such a powerful tool that I've used to become a better version of myself. So essentially I was just trying to do the same thing with any level of skill, a human that also wanted to utilize this tool to become better, both on and off the bicycle, kind of a thing. So yeah, it was really rad. And then we got pregnant, and I knew there was still so much for me to learn. And so I felt as if it was a really good opportunity for me to essentially take my athletes with Stokehouse, and I merged to Tinac Championship Coaching, to then be brought under Jason Tullis's wing, to work alongside a lot of really talented coaches. Rose Grant. Rose Grant is a really badass female endurance athlete with an accolade of race results, and a bunch of other talented coaches as well. So work with that group, and work with athletes both in the moto space as well as in the endurance space, mountain bike racers, gravel racers, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's an outlet for me to use my experience that I have from trying to be a professional mountain biker. Got to live that dream like really for 3 years, and my wife was just like, "Look, you can just go all in," and that's what I was doing, was just racing a bicycle and finding investors and support and that sort of thing. So experienced burnout and hated bicycles and went full enduro bro and all the things. So yeah, I just stack these lessons that I learned in this toolbox that I feel that I can relay to my athletes, and yeah, give them something to learn from, so to speak. But yeah, it's cool helping other humans become a better version of themselves. That's rad. It's for me, that's an impact in the world, in the community. And so yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That resonates with me because I was I've coached in the motorsports industry for a long time. Like I coached for Skip Barber Racing. I coached for Porsche here in Atlanta for almost 10 years as a drive coach. And I've kind of dabbled in the mountain bike stuff. It's just a lot of the mountain bike skills coaching. It's just a liability. I think that you really that as an individual having their own program, it's just tough. Um, and but what you said absolutely resonated is that like watching somebody else, like when you see that light bulb click in somebody else's head, it's like, oh, now that makes sense, right? When you're teaching them, whether it's technique or whether it's nutrition, fitness, whatever it is, right? When they start to see that result, I think that's like one of the most rewarding things, is to watch other people grow in like themselves, you know?
Agreed.
So it really resonates with me. That's cool.
So also scrolling your Instagram, just like seeing the timeline of things,
Yeah.
right after you were riding the Specialized, the Epic, you started riding for a company called Blue Bikes, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of people are not familiar with Blue Bikes. So how did that connection come about? And tell us a little bit about the company themselves as well.
Yeah, that was huge for me. I was in let's see, I starting in 2018. I was an ambassador for Specialized bicycles. Best friend of mine, Matt Ricks, who at the time was the district sales manager for that territory for Specialized, got me in touch with them, and yeah, that was the ambassador deal was huge. Really good pricing on bikes. And that kind of just got my foot in the door with the team managers at the time. And so, yeah, Specialized was awesome. I love their bicycles, still love their bicycles. But I had felt I was kind of capped at the amount of support that I was going to get from that brand. And so I was working with a company called Jackaroo. Claire, who was the regional or district sales manager for Jackaroo at the time. I had gotten to meet her, and she had asked me if I had any kit deals at that time, and I didn't. And so anyways, that was kind of the starting point for my privateer racing platform to actually gain really solid support and funding, so to speak. And so yeah, she helped kick off my fully custom kits, and then she asked if I had a bike deal, and I didn't at the time. Was still obviously buying bikes, finding investors to buy bikes to the Specialized program, yada yada. And so she put me in touch with Orly, who is the president of Blue Bicycles. Blue Bicycles is a smaller direct-to-consumer brand at that time, based out of Longmont, Colorado. Mm-hmm. So I was like, wow, cool, kind of close to home. Blue Bicycles, their claim to fame was in the cyclocross racing world. They had a bunch of really rad, badass.
Ross is actually a professional cyclocross athlete.
For 2 laps, for only 2 laps, bro, and then done.
Yeah,
dude, he has this side note real quick. Yep. He raced a cyclocross race. Not to bash on Ross, but it is funny.
It's hilarious.
So I'm going to. He signed up for a cyclocross race, like a local one in Atlanta, and he could probably tell the story better. But he's at my house, and he's like, dude, you got to watch this GoPro footage from the cyclocross race. And homie is out front for 2 laps, and then he's got the GoPro mounted like here. So after 2 laps, you just hear him, and then you start seeing bike,
Like,
Yeah.
dude, I think 4 to 6 people came around me in literally no more than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, it was that was like the speed differential on the climb, dude.
Oh yeah.
It
Well, when the
was
wheels are coming
utterly
off, the
hilarious.
wheels are coming off, you know. So I've
Oh.
been there many times, many times. So.
Dude, I like some cross there, man. It's so fun because like it's like with someone with like your background and my
Oh
background and
yeah,
like our technical skills and ability, it's like, dude, on the straights where people got the horsepower, I just let them go. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, all right, I'll come back and get you.
yeah, yeah,
Wait for the off camber, wait for
yeah,
the corners, man.
yeah.
Like I'll blow around somebody on the outside, dude. It's so fun.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, cyclocross is sick, and Blue Bicycles made a cyclocross bike that was very successful in that space here in the States. And yeah,
Yeah.
I had a phone call with Orly, and one thing led to another, and yeah, he had a contract for me, and yeah, provided a gravel bike, which was their cyclocross bike, their road bike, and then with talks of a mountain bike that's in the pipeline in the future. And yeah, it was a dream come true. Took one of my best friends, Thomas, who I worked at the bike shop with, up to Longmont to do a tour of their facility and to pick up the bicycles. And it was crazy. Yeah. To load two, I mean, almost $10,000 bicycles, if not right at 10K retail price point, with all the bells and whistles, the power meter, the carbon cranks, the SRAM red, yada, yada, yada. It was bitching. And to me, I finally felt like, I had kind of like made it, so to speak. And so, yeah, Blue Bicycles gave me a platform to continue traveling the country racing. And I felt like I had some really solid results in the gravel space. Gravel Locos, won the Colorado Summer Gravel Series in 23, which is really cool. But yeah, we then we got a prototype full suspension mountain bike that I got to hang out with and ride as well. So yeah, it was just cool to work with Orly, work with a small company. And it was, yeah, kind of the cherry on top to my racing career. I had dealt with burnout, like up and down, and learned how to deal with it and to move past it. But I knew I didn't want to be no flock to anyone else, but I just didn't want to be a pro trying to suck every last bit of the dream out of it, you know, and
I
just
get you.
continue onward. And I didn't know what I was gonna do with, with Jagger and racing and all that kind of thing. And so yeah, end of 23, Lauren got pregnant, and I was finally just like, I was burnt on trying to source, $10,000 to be able to travel and race and fly to races, and then obviously not only that, the time commitment. I was very selfish, but you had to be selfish, to be a professional of anything, and so yeah, the training 25, 27 hours a week with having a kid in the pipeline with that wasn't producing any monetary income. It was a time for me to do something different, and I doubled down on the coaching, doubled down on my duties at the bike shop. But knew something was, I need something more, and I also wanted a change and to maybe get outside of the consumer in retail. And yeah, it kind of trickles back to that pushing the snowball up the rock, up the mountain, so to speak. And then yeah, getting the opportunity with TLD is segued to where I'm at now. But I don't think I would have gotten here if I wouldn't have had the bike journey, all the
Yeah.
things. So yeah, I'm a believer of everything happens for a reason for the most part. And yeah, dude, it's been cool.
I want to circle back to a coaching question
Yep.
because there is, just like everything, it's become more and more popular, the coaching aspect, and a lot of, I mean, like almost every other rider, I feel like, especially in our area, is a coach, like, or claims they're a mountain bike coach. And then now you're also seeing a lot of these remote operated coaching programs, which I think is what you did. And there's people like Troll Training, Justin Martin and Alex Martin, that are very successful at it. AJ Catanzaro with the Moto Academy, that is very successful at the remote training aspect of things. So I also know there's a lot of people that would say that does not work. that you need a coach to be present for it to be effective. And I am honestly, I don't have an opinion on this. I kind of wanted to get your opinion on, a lot of that, and why are these becoming so successful? And is it actually, does it actually work for athletes to have a remote coaching program?
Yeah, so a couple of things. So I for the endurance space, like even the coaches that I've worked with, they've always been remote. We operate through a variety of platforms. Platform that we use is currently is Training Peaks, and so we share a calendar. I get on, whether depending on the level of program that the athlete's on, whether it's a weekly, daily, monthly sort of interaction in terms of keeping calendar plan updated with races, the build, all that sort of thing. So a couple of things. I think that for that style of progression for the endurance space, I think the remote coaching is solid because at the end of the day, like it's up to you to get the work done, right? Like, and for me, when I started paying for a coach, being a young, hungry racer wanting to make it, where I didn't have my mom and dad or someone, providing this extra income for me, it gave me a nice little carrot to be motivated with, to know like, dude, if I'm spending the money on this, like I'm gonna do the program, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
On the other side, as far as like the skills stuff is concerned, I do think that you can get some benefit watching videos. I mean, I study subconsciously. I watch AJ's videos all the time. I think his content's great. You name it, the whoever is out there producing that kind of content, but I'm studying riding technique, whether that's foot placement, if we're talking about moto stuff, roll speed, we're using the clutch, we're using the brakes, that sort of thing. So I do think there are benefits to even just watching that stuff on, whether it's a coaching app or YouTube or whatever. I do think you get more benefit if we're talking skills stuff from one-on-one,
Yeah.
when I just did a private lesson with a gentleman here in the Springs. He was a customer of the bike shop. I've done skills lessons with him before. But yeah, we did a one-on-one 90 minutes of mountain bike technique work. It was awesome. He tackled this trail we have in the Springs called the Chutes, which is all over YouTube. It's somewhat technical. I think it does have a black diamond sign on there on the top, maybe just for a couple rocks or whatever. But it was cool to watch him tackle things that he wasn't previously comfortable with. So I think a lot more benefit to having one-on-one for skill stuff. I think the remote coaching can work really well for the endurance planning programs, that sort of thing, so kind of and I think for moto wise, like, yeah, having someone to like work technique, whether it's like Martin Costello at World Moto or the badass coaches at the game, Robbie Raynard, Greg Albertson, like all those dudes, like those athletes that are going to these facilities that are working with these top tier coaches, like, yeah, that's, to me, that's great bang for the buck, and something that they wouldn't achieve if they were just looking at someone on the screen telling them to go faster into the corner, kind of a thing.
It kind of seems like to me, like if it's more data driven,
Yeah.
right? It's like, hey, your VO2 max is or whatever, right? Or if it's endurance power, you're looking at power numbers, you're looking at things like that. Seems like if it's like data driven, like remote can be like a great way to do it.
Yep.
But again, if it's more subjective or if it's more technique or skill or something like that, it seems like, at least to me, it seems like in person is hard to replace.
Agreed.
Nice. That's cool. That's kind of how I feel about it too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people usually will just sell, like, I know they'll have different packages. So like they'll offer in-person or remote packages for that type of thing. And I think, yeah, I would have put $20. That was what you were going to say. So I think that's everybody's opinion on it,
And
probably.
I also think like you can move the needle with like cookie cutter preset plans that you can buy off of xwebsite.com or that a coach puts together. But I still think that it's worth, if you're investing in your fitness and you're investing in your goals, like having a specific program tailored to how much time you can ride during the week, what other life obligations you have, obviously is going to help move the needle even better.
Yeah. So now we can transfer it to what you're doing currently, which is, some would argue, one of the most badass jobs ever. But that also comes at a price. I'm friends with a lot of people uh, that are in a similar role of yours, and they work more than most people I know, and they bust their ass. It's not an easy job. So a lot of a lot of people may look at or hear you talking about this. I think it's all fun and what you say, grits and something. and and I'm sure you enjoy the hell out of it because you're a hard worker, you're disciplined. I mean, you just explained that within your as an athlete. So I'm sure you fit the role pretty well, but there's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people may not realize, taking care of all these accounts and stuff. But I don't know where I'm going with that other than
Yeah.
like, how has it been transferring into a role that is super fast paced? I mean, you're taking care of, God, I mean, numerous states. Of course, they're territories, but I mean, it's got to be pretty brutal, all of the travel and whatnot. But at the same time, I'm sure it takes you 2 seconds to be like, you know what, this is sick. If you just put the X, Y, and Z aside, this is the most badass thing ever. So
For sure, for sure. Well, I mean, we all have to have a job, right? And it's the for me, like the never ending pursuit is having and or finding a job that I enjoy most of the time, because I think you'd be lying to say that you're gonna enjoy whatever job you're doing 100% of the time. But I have to have moments because you're right, it's such a high pace. I live in fifth gear. I've been in fifth gear since this time last year. And so it's easy to forget like how sick it is and how much it is a dream job, and it still to me is a dream job. When I tell people what I do that know about this space or Troy Lee Designs, they're like, wow, that's got to be a dream job. And it's all I use it as a time to kind of like reflect for a second and be grateful for the opportunities that I have. Our industry, especially getting involved at like above the dealership level, is very hard to do. um and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm tooting my dad's horn and Sean's horn, and what they did with Honda of Houston gained a global presence. And it gave me somewhat of a box to kind of stand on to have some notoriety in this space, because I mean, when I say I was born in it, I truly was born in it. Um, but it is full stick, it's full gas all the time. I am very fortunate though, because these states that I handle, Colorado, it's very Denver metro area focused. I have a little bit of business in the north of Denver, same thing on the other side of the slope in Grand Junction. But my driving to Denver is very quick. I got a lot of good bang for my buck in doing a 2-day trip to Colorado. But to back up a second, when I took the job or I got presented with the opportunity, granted, at that time, it was just Colorado. I had to have the conversation with my wife of just like, hey, this is going to be a lot of travel. And we do have a 2-month-old kiddo. But this is an opportunity for me to see if I can play in this playground, so to speak. And financially, it was obviously going to make sense as well too. And so, yeah, so she was good with it. She was on board. I think obviously coming from the athlete side and chasing that dream and traveling the country, she was holding it down as well. So it's like it wasn't too much of a change of pace. Obviously, we had a completely different element having the kiddo involved as well. But yeah, so jumped in knowing it was going to be a good bit of travel. Had no idea. Obviously, my footprint was going to get as big as it is, and potentially what they have me doing next year as well. But yeah, for off the rip, it was very efficient in and out of Denver, handling our big accounts there. And then the Utah thing is really awesome as well, because it's just over an hour flight to Salt Lake City. I basically hang out with my awesome friends in the Young Power Sports group that has 6-7 stores in the Utah area. They're rad humans to work with. But yeah, so I get to fly into Utah. I do a 36-hour to 48-hour trip at most, and I'm back home to the family. Same thing into Arizona. And the cool thing about now handling Arizona is that kind of helps offset some of my slow period. Obviously it gets cold here in the Utah, Colorado areas, so I'm not trying to bug my accounts. I don't have anything to sell them for their sleds or, that sort of thing. But Arizona, the riding is absolutely ripping right now. So it kind of helps tip the scale a little bit. It is pulling me away from my family more, but once again, like I tell TLD, the path that I think Jagger is on, I just need to keep stacking these pennies into my savings account because food is going to be expensive, So, but no, it's
You're a smart man.
and the other cool thing with TLD, Terry Lynn, our U.S. director, she has these conversations with me about the increased travel schedule. How's Jagger? How's Lauren? That sort of thing. So being involved with a company that's independent, that's a family-ran business. Max has a child as well. So they're very aware of that, and which is cool. They trust that I'm getting my stuff done, which I am. I hit my yearly target for this year in July, which was awesome. I've had a lot of growth in the mountain territories with the brand, which has been cool. But if you and I learned this from the athlete side of things, and I don't think I would have learned this if I wouldn't have gone down the I want to be a professional athlete path, because that taught me motivation, that taught me discipline, that taught me drive, that taught me my work ethic, and my whole kind of ethos. And so, yeah, if you're not a self-driven, fast-paced human bouncing off the walls already, then this life, this position that I'm in is not for you, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's giggles and grins, and it is a lot of work managing all of these accounts and these relationships. But I'm a people person. I'm selling J-Mart first and foremost, and yeah, that's been really easy, and it's been a really cool opportunity to work with these amazing accounts and dealerships, and now Rocky Mountain ATV and their distribution center, which is awesome and crazy to see the scale of that operation. But yeah, paying my dues. I want to give TLD all I've got, and they've kind of outlined an upward trajectory for me, and as long as I keep checking these boxes and doing what I'm doing, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun and a lot of good vibes with the TLD family for sure.
Currently, what's your favorite TLD product? Just one product, and why?
The SE5 carbon. It's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat that helmet. What will beat that helmet is the SE6 So, yeah, SE5 carbon helmet, top tier, one of my favorite protection piece product that we make, and we're making it even better. Troy has always had a big proponent of safety. We've had one of the best fitting and safest helmets on the market for a really long time. I come from only wearing a brand called Shoei or a Rye in the moto space, because Dad was like, dude, unfortunately you use the helmet, and yeah, always believed in putting my brain in the best
I told this story to someone at the bike park the other day. I was like, my uncle always believed in wearing products where they only made one product. So Uncle Dave,
Yep.
he always loved. He's like, I wear Shoei because they make helmets and only helmets, and I wear Garnet because Garnet only makes boots,
Yep.
and that means they're going to be the best.
Yep.
And that's what he believed in.
Yep. But no, it's a great company to work for. What we have in the future, obviously, with our Ducati racing efforts is going to be so sick. It is so sick already. Yeah, we'll get to hang out at Anaheim 1, take you through the hospitality area in the rig, and that's another moment where I just have to have like an aha, like last Salt Lake City Supercross, Jagger was crawling around there, the race rig, and like, how sick is that? He won't remember any of that, but the fact that like we're in this race rig where I could eat off of the floor, like it's yeah, it's a cool opportunity. People would chop their left arm for this gig that I've got. So it's yeah, maximizing it, taking advantage of it. They want me to go to the track to ride and set some gear up and pay me to go do that, buddy. I'm doing it, so
I'll be there.
Hell yeah.
it's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool.
So I also, it's not I don't know how, like, you'll figure out a way to speak on this without getting in trouble or anything, but the industry right now. A lot of people know it's not the best it's ever been. I mean, clearly it's just fine for you. It's nothing too terrible because you still have a job. But I know, my fiance works at Yamaha, and I have a lot of good friends within the motorsports and as well cycling industry, and things aren't going so well as they could. And so a question is, oh, let's get your take on that. I mean, obviously, it's mostly the boom from COVID, and now we're seeing the effects still after that. And of course, the economy. There's a numerous things that we could all talk about. We're not all economists or professionals or politicians, but we are in the space, and we do still love the space, and we're definitely seeing some hits to every bit of it. I mean, uh, a lot of these numbers are public for a lot of these bigger companies. You're seeing companies like YT go through their issues, and then Rebel Bikes, just one after the other. And a lot of bike brands like Santa Cruz and some other bike brands are getting bought by these humongous companies now. So just a lot happening. Just kind of get your take on all of that going from COVID.
Yeah, so I was working bike shops. Started working at the bike shop in 2019, so just before COVID started. So working the retail floor during COVID was wild, especially since bike shops were deemed necessary business to be open during that time frame. We slung a lot of bikes. I was on the sales staff. We were slinging it. I mean, to have consecutive $50,000 to $60,000 days were just wild. I mean, we no lunch or working lunch at full stick, like closing the shop down an hour after because we're still closing deals. Like it was crazy. At the time, maybe, did we think it was going to last like a good bit? Yeah, but did we know it was a bubble for sure? Like 100%. And so, to then see it pop, and then to then take this TLD job right at the after the bubble kind of popped, is been kind of wild. Like I think that since I've been able to find success in such a quick period of time and such a interesting time in the economy, like once things get back into the normal groove, like I'm gonna be cruising, So it is a very interesting time in this space, both obviously for the bike shop and the moto shop. I think they're both in a very similar spot right now. But like anything in the motorcycle space, my dad went through once again the 2008 like recession, the crash. Like right now, 2009, 2010 motorcycle unit sales is very similar to what it is right now, So like, but once again, both of our industries have never been like this and then like this. Like those industries have always like
Ridden the
ridden the
wave.
wave,
None of it is a need.
No,
They're all wants.
no. And
Yeah.
so if you, for one, you've got to be in a position where you maybe have some job security, and even that, like you can't even count on that because I mean I'm not gonna bash him, but I mean I had a good friend or a friend of mine that worked for Fox that was a factory representative, factory rep in the bike side of space, and built up the territory, and then obviously things were getting hard with Fox, and Fox canned all of the factory reps and then kicked it back to independent. And so they, where they took them from the independent was like, no, you get a better focus from a factory rep. And so like, nothing is ever set in stone.
Yeah.
I do trust who I'm working for and who I'm working with. I do believe that they have my best interests at heart. It would be a different story if we were still acquired by the Two Ride Group and or a bigger corporation that only sees spreadsheets and profit analysis and the EBITDA report and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, we're holding on to our britches, brother. That's really it. Like the good ones have some thick skin and know how to weather the storm. I truly believe that we're at the bottom and things will be rebounding both in our industry as well as in the economy. I also still think we're all sitting at the slot machine, and I'm just pulling and hoping we get a good pull on it, but for the time being, like I'm ripping, and the silver lining in it all. And I have this conversation that I had with Austin Smith, who is the parts manager for the Young Power Sports Group in Utah. I gave him a call when we did our first price increase because we were way late to the game on doing price increases after this whole tariff situation started taking effect to our businesses. But I was just like, hey man, we haven't done one in years, but like we're doing a price increase. And he was just like, dude, it doesn't matter. He's just like, the prices are going to be what they're going to be, and we're going to sell it. Eggs are whatever price they are, and people are still buying them. People are
Buying
still
eggs, yep.
buying cars. It is scary. I mean, things are wild. Like it is really wild in our economy. I provide products for not a necessary good. It's a luxury good. But once again, like people are still, these big accounts, like they are still either flat and or up a percentage or two. In the motorcycle space, it does pull on my heartstrings a little bit, and I think same thing probably is happening on the bike side as well. But the mom and pop shops are so few and far between, like it is. And that makes me sad because Honda used to start it as a mom and pop shop, and then dad and those guys, they grew it to a level 5 powerhouse Honda dealership, but it was always like that mom and pop shop kind of a feel. And no, there's still a good bit of that in the motorcycle space, but it is a dying breed, unfortunately. And so what we're seeing is just bigger dealership conglomerates, the Young Power Sports Group, the Sun Power Sports Group here in Colorado, that are just buying up retail shops, and growing their footprint that way, and essentially buying market share because they have the capital to do so, But yeah, it's a wild time. Just holding, and better days are on the horizon though.
All right, quick break. Huge shout out to the sponsors that keep this podcast rolling. First up, we have CTS Media. If your business needs better content, a fresh website, or full service digital marketing, CTS Media has you covered. Photography, videography, social media management, social media creation, Google Ads, Meta Ads, everything your business needs to look legit online, because let's face it, if you're not doing these things, you're falling behind to your competitors in today's world. Check it out at ctsmedia.org, link in description below. Next up, we have Shred It, You're On. They solve the classic problem every rider has. Your action cam blocks your jersey. Their jerseys keep your kit visible on camera and look sick doing it. Grab one at shreadityouron.com. Finally, we have Gutter Getters, your go-to for home maintenance. Whether it's gutter cleaning, roof care, pressure washing, small repairs, deck repairs, they handle it all. Hit the link or give them a call below. All right. Thank you guys. Back to the podcast.
For sure.
So on that note, I hadn't done a whole lot of research on it, but it strikes resemblance because if you look at like right now, you look at like Harley, you look at like Indian, couple big motorcycle, more recreational bike manufacturers and stuff like that. We're seeing with those companies like all-time lows in sales.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it is attributed, one, to like folks don't identify with Harley because they're like it's antiquated. Is I think like the younger generation's thought on that. I don't know. I'm kind of borderline on that. But I feel like the newer generations are just not interested in getting on a motorcycle the way that like I feel like kids were like when I grew up, and like I'm 40. And it's like, so I feel like there's this just with like motorcycles in general, talking mostly like on street, like we're seeing like the interest in it, like with younger kids, new generations, kind of like start to wane a little bit. What's your take on that? More with the dirt bike side, the motorsport side, or I guess like in kind of power sports instead of like necessarily recreational, motorcycling. What's your thought on that?
I think motorcycle dealers back in the day used to just kind of use like how Harley was doing, was kind of like this baseline of like the current health of the motorcycle like sales industry, so to speak. I think you're right in terms of the Harley. That customer for the Harley is not as prevalent as it used to be. But where the My Motorcycle shops are seeing a massive influx are new street riders. So that's like 300cc displacement up to 600cc displacement, really in that kind of
Okay.
500cc displacement mark. Honda makes like kind of like an entry level like sport bike, touring bike in that kind of displacement. CF Moto has been another manufacturer that's been really ripping into that space and taking a lot of market share. Few things,
Dude, their new MotoGP looking bike is rad, and
and
I've
it's a
heard
price point.
rumors.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
it's
that thing looks wicked.
yeah. So CF
So that's
Moto's
cool.
crushing it. Honda's crushes it with their middle line. Same thing with their cruisers and stuff. And yeah, your Yamaha, your other manufacturers, Cowies that make a very similar motorcycle for that space. So they're seeing a lot of new riders. I think the price of cars are helping drive that kind of influx in business. I think a
Okay.
single 18 to 22 or 25, 27-year-old kiddo is looking at a car for now $50K, which used to be 35, and is like
Yeah.
looking at this motorcycle that's $8K out the door, and he can get on a motorcycle. Like, I think that's where we're seeing some kind of resurgence or some kind of influx of business for the street side of things. Um, Moto side, I think the communities that I'm working with, like the moto side is healthy. When I'm at the track, which
That's
is one
cool.
week, like the races, like man, the races are healthy. The practice tracks look good on the weekend. There's a handful of private spots that a lot of the fast kids are ripping at. So I mean, I sold a lot of moto gear. Like almost $250,000 worth of moto gear, probably right at that. So I mean, it's like it's there, it's
Cool.
just coming from fewer shops, bigger groups, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
Yeah, no, totally.
I was gonna say the same thing because like we have talked about it on the last couple of podcasts. Like the industries are thriving. Like you're seeing more people at the bike parks. You're seeing more people at the trails than ever. I mean, you're seeing bike parks pop up around the southeast like crazy. So it's not like people aren't riding bikes or like. And if I go to a motocross track, it's packed. Like so people aren't not riding.
That's
I
cool.
think it's just the economy. People are scared to spend money right now, and people think everything's expensive because everything is. And it's the new normal, like you said. It's just getting used to that, and eventually everything just goes up with it. And then just like everything else always does. So
Yep.
I worry about people on one wheels and electric unicycles rolling around the city all day. It's like those are the people that are like not buying motorcycles and they're buying these. I don't know.
just the people at that
I like
coffee
them all.
shop,
I got
Ross.
respect for all that stuff, but it's just a weird way to get around.
Yeah, that a lot of my dealers, they sling those Surons and other XYZ brands of those e-motos, and it's like, yeah, it's just it's a new wave, but I mean it's also maybe getting more eyes and more people inside of a motorcycle shop to then like get a moto helmet or maybe they at least buy a set of gloves, while they're riding their Suron or whatever through the streets. But evolution of the human, man, it's crazy. It's a different space. Brick and mortar though is not dead for us. Service is also really healthy, both at the bike shop level as the moto shop. So I mean, on that note, I think we're seeing more people getting more life out of their current ride, versus like refreshing their bike every handful of years or whatever it is, So but people are riding. We're
Cason's
riding.
not one of them.
No, I'll probably have a 2025 YZ250 for sale pretty soon, so I can get a 2026 YZ250.
Yeah, no, I had two 25 CRF 450s. Now I just have one. So no.
There you go.
And plus,
Well, this is perfect because I wanted to ask. You rode Max Lee's 2006 YZ250 two smoke at Glen Helen, which when's the last time you rode a two smoke?
I think it was like 15 years.
Good God! So getting used to no engine braking and the shift points. How was that?
Yeah, and never ridden Glen Helen before. I'd been there a few times. Yeah, never rode Glen Helen before I flew out there, and that was for 2026 sales meeting stuff. They wanted me to cruise out there that weekend before to work Moto Fest, which was at Glen Helen. We had our race rig set up there. They had some really bitchin' trailers for us to stay at, food, all the things. And Max was like, "You gonna bring gear?" And I was like, "Well, I don't got a bike, you know." And he's like, "Bring gear." And I was like, "All right." So I brought gear, and he was like, "You can rip my cherry freshly built 2006 YZ252 stroke, because he gets help from one of the local Triumph dealers, and has been riding a Triumph 250." And yeah, I was like bitching sick, and I went to bed that Thursday night a little nervous. I rode the bike over from the 18-wheeler to the trailer, and I thought my hands were gonna fall off from the vibration. You know, it's like, holy shit, just don't stall it. And yeah, then I got dressed that Friday because they had open practice at Glen Helen for the weekend. And oh no, that would maybe been Thursday. Regardless, they had an open practice day. And yeah, I got dressed, and as soon as I put the helmet on and got behind the set of handlebars, I was like, all right, this thing just sounds a bit different. Like, you know, his control placement was perfect. I didn't adjust any didn't get an 8mm out to adjust any control or anything like that. And yeah, then we rolled out to the track, and Glen Helen is so sick. The videos and photos don't do those hills any justice at all. And I mean, it took me, I mean, just rolling out on the track. Obviously, it was different with no engine braking. Suspension was fairly close. Could have done well with chuck and sag, but no, it was a dirt bike, and it had a set of handlebars and two wheels, and it was bitching. Did 2 or 3 practices. Felt more and more comfy. Last practice of the day was very, very spicy. Was finding a bit more speed. Ended up behind Trevor Stewart for just a second, or he was behind me for a second, and they have this really sick turn-in hip table, high speed hip table that drops down into this straight before this triple step up into a corner. And I got to the bottom before the hip table, and I looked up and I saw a rider that was like gonna roll the jump, and I was like, well, they'll have enough time. And Trevor was right behind me, and that you take off the jump like off the inside of it, and you drift across to the other side of the track over it. And as soon as I came off the lip, I looked at him and I was like, I'm gonna hit this dude, like, for sure. Like I blacked out, but I was like aware, and I was like, I'm hitting this dude for sure. And I just remember landing and kind of like giving up a little bit, you know, just like accepting my fate at the time. But I think like God pushed me a little left, and he happened to push this dude a little bit right. And so I just barely missed him and had to regrip the handlebars and everything. And then I looked back and I just screamed the loudest F word. You like probably heard it like counties over. And I look back, and Trevor Stewart is a California badass. He's a fashion mogul, so to speak, in the moto space. He'll smoke a cigarette on the starting line just to kind of help paint a picture of this dude. And I look back, and Trevor is just letting this dude have it, like all the way down the downside of this jump, across this straight, up this jump, still yelling at this dude. And at the time, I'm just like out of sight, out of mind. Like, I can't believe I didn't die. I can't believe I didn't die. And yeah, so we ended the day safely, and I ended up racing the GP race on that bike the last day of the weekend on Sunday, and that was so sick. Lap around the main track to some off-road stuff and the vet track. Start was terrible. Went through the off-road section and felt like the handlebars about snapped out of my hands through the chatter, through the braking bumps. And so we opted to play it safe and just have a good time. And yeah, it was a 48-minute moto on a YZ 252 smoker. And yeah, that was bitching. And that segued me into 25 or 26 sales meeting stuff. So yeah, not a bad day, so to speak.
Dude, that's sick. All right. Well, also, you on the bike topic, this will get Ross's attention too, because Ducati is now making dirt bikes, as we all know, and they just finally, everybody knew it because the rumors and whatnot that, you know, TLD and Ducati were going to come together and have a race team with Dylan Ferrandez and Justin Barsha, and it was finally released pretty recently. And you had the opportunity to actually ride the new Ducati 450. And so I want to get your opinion on that, and how high does it rev?
Yeah, the Ducati's rad. The in our partnership with them is super sick. I think like our factory badge, the Troy Designs, Red Bull factory, Ducati Racing, like it just has such a sexy chef's kiss ring to it. The Ducati crew, if they do anything, it's creme de la creme. Fun fact for you: every front fender you see on Barsha or Dylan's bike is a hand painted front fender. Every single one of those front fenders is hand painted, which is, to me, it's crazy, but also just speaks volumes to the kind of company that Ducati is. Yeah, as far as riding the Ducati, the production bike, really awesome. Sun Power Sports, big account of mine here in Colorado. They did a customer appreciation ride day, and they brought out the Ducati for the customers to ride. That thing stayed hot and or on all day long. I got to ride it towards the end of the day when the track was pretty cooked. It would have been worth doing a sag check, no clicker adjustment or anything, just got on the motorcycle. Granted, I'm pretty biased. If I have a red front fender that I'm looking at, like in my head, I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna be bitching, because I love Hondas. It's gonna be very hard to get me away from the Sierra F450. But initial thoughts on the Ducati: ergonomically, it felt very comfortable. It felt very good between my legs. Like, it felt similar to a Honda, like in terms of where foot bed placement was, where how the radiator shrouds felt, how the seat felt, all that sort of thing. I felt like the front end was a little noodly coming into the corners, which could have been adjusted with sag and clicker adjustments. The Honda is very stiff, and so for me, it feels really planted coming into the corners. Once I got the motorcycle in the corner, the thing turned really, really well. It is interesting that they put a 250F tire on the 450, so they put like a 110 rear where I would put a 120 on it. In terms of the
do they come stock like that?
Yeah, they come stock with a 110. And then they also come stock with a 13 countershaft sprocket and a 49 rear sprocket, where on my Honda, I'm running either a 1350 or a 1351. So I found myself down in second a lot more than I'm usually on my 450, and or in first. And so it felt like it hit a little softer on the bottom, but once again, that could be changed with going a tooth taller or 2 teeth taller on the rear sprocket. But the over rev was crazy. Like, it felt like it wanted to pull forever. Like, second felt like it just continued pulling. Second or third felt like it just pulled forever. Case in point, tight inside right on my 450, down in the second, short shifted to third on the face of this triple step up. On the Ducati, I'd roll second all the way through the face, and then, like, in my head, when I'd feel like it was supposed to start like revving out, like, the thing would still just keep revving. So I think for a first gen production bike, it's solid. I think it would be huge if we could get Frenchie, Francis, and or Barsha like inside top 10 for Supercross. I think that would be awesome for the platform. I think the bike is proven to be competitive in the outdoor space, both with the MXGP guys and obviously what Caroli's done over here in the States as well. I think it was towards the top of one of the shootouts that one of the groups did. But yeah, I think with our relationship with Ducati, we get some MSRP discount love off the Desmo 450. So probably see me on a Duke in 2027, more than likely.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah, those things are dope. All right, perfect segue. Sorry, Ross, I'm taking.
No, you're good. I love it, man. I get a chill.
Perfect segue. 2026 Supercross season. It's coming up super fast. I mean, I think we're coming under 40 days at this point, and pretty stoked I'm gonna be able to see you in Los Angeles come January. It's gonna be fun. My favorite time of year is when Supercross starts. It gets me through my days. I listen to podcasts for 24 hours up until I can't hear him anymore. I just love it. It's addicting. I love the season. So, what's your biggest thing that you're just like excited to see? Like, as far as a change in 2026 goes, is it Eli Tomac? Is it whoever, Chase Sexton? What are you just like? I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited to see.
Well, I think the space is changing in terms of like the shelf life of the athlete, which is really cool. Like in the mountain bike space, cycling space, like you see badass athletes like 30s, even into their 40s, and that's never been the case in Moto. In Moto, like, if you were 23 and you hadn't like made it, like you're old, you're washed up, like time to retire kind of a thing, which sucks. What we find with evolution of the human, like the human body is still very capable and evolves and can get really fit and really fast, like, you know, into your early 30s. And so there's still a lot of racing to be had for some of these guys. And so that to me is one of the more exciting pieces, is just to see guys like Eli Tomac, who I think signed a 2-year deal now with KTM, which he had been on a 1-year only deal with his sponsors. It's cool to see those guys' career like refreshing, reinvigorated. People are like, Christian Craig, why are you still racing? And he's like, well, what else am I gonna do? Like, I'm still fit, I'm healthy, I'm fast.
Speaking of, he just wanted, yeah.
So it's like
he just smoked the WSX race.
Yeah, and he's probably gonna win, like, hopefully. And Christian's a former Honda of Houston support rider as well. Hopefully he wins that WSX title. But like that to me is exciting. Just to see those riders that are still like have something to prove. And it just makes our sport from a viewing standpoint even better, because not like you still have those guys that are relevant and fast, but then obviously we have this resurgence of new talent, whether that's like the Justin Coopers, the Degans, the Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, you know. So it's this cool clashing of like new school, old school, but the old school dudes are still ripping, you know. So like that's exciting. As well as having more manufacturers in the space. That's more job opportunities for riders as well, through the Triumph program, through the Ducati program. So, you know, in theory, more people are getting paid to race a dirt bike. So like that's bitching, you know? So, and not only that, it's not just one dude, that's running everything, you know. There's a handful of dudes that are very capable of winning, and yeah, the Jets and the Deacons are going to go, you know, toe to toe, and yeah, it's going to just be bitching to watch, you know?
Yeah, I'm stoked, dude. I'm fired up. I mean, we could sit here for another 3 hours and talk about Supercross, but I'm fired up about it. It's gonna be sick, and I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Hope to God Jet doesn't win everything, just so I can enjoy my Saturday nights. But I don't think he will.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Well, man, we're getting to that time. I do have a final wrap up question, and then we'll see if Ross has anything else. But for 2026, we going to Loretta's, baby?
That's the that's the goal. That's still the fitness goal for next year. I'm riding. I'm trying to not put too much emphasis on it right now in the winter. I think I put a little bit too much emphasis on the going to Loretta's dream for this year. Granted, I made that goal or that dream after I did my first race in a decade last fall. And I told Lauren, I was like, I think I'm going to go to Loretta's. And she's like, you just switched careers and we have a brand new baby. You think you can do? I'm like, I can do it all. Like, it doesn't matter, you know? And yeah, I made it through the area qualifiers in a couple different regions, no problem. And then travel schedule just got way too ripping for me to like juggle training and seat time, and then thinking about traveling down to Texas for a regional and or Minnesota for a regional. And so yeah, I put the kibosh on that. And then it was cool because I knew I was going to go to Loretta's anyways for our Trolley Designs retail booth and that sort of thing. And Max put me down for his mechanic / man friend for the week. And so, yeah, it was a good opportunity for me to roll to the line with him to see if I was either
that sounds gay.
Yeah. But yeah, roll the line with him and see if I was going to be good with where I was at on that side of the fence and or be wishing that I was towing the line. And yeah, for whatever reason, like I still want to race at whatever level that is. Definitely not pro by any means in anything, I don't think. But yeah, still got really good fitness, and I ride with some really fast kids here in Colorado that are anywhere from 17 to 22 years old. So mentally, they have me feeling a bit sporty. And yeah, I mean, I still feel really fit. So yeah, the goal is plus 30 for sure. I think that's very doable to get to the ranch in plus 30 and be somewhat competitive. Plus 25 is a goal as well. That class is just ripping. It's another pro class. And the guys that have scored pro points can race plus 25. But yes, long story short, still gonna give her the beans for Loretta's next year. Sounds like we're gonna go back anyways for TLD. So if I'm gonna be there, we're gonna throw a little racing into the mix.
Race.
All right. Well, if you're gonna be there and you're gonna be racing, Ross and I are gonna have to plan to come up there and take some photos and slam some beers while you ride your dirt.
Yeah. The beer tent motos are proper. I had never seen that side of the fence either because I was always too young for the beer tent. And we hung out at the beer tent one night towards the end of the week, and there were some parents getting rowdy, probably trying to forget about the hundreds of thousands of dollars they spent to get little Jimmy to the big show.
We can hang out with the parents.
Hell yeah! I got a question for you. If you got to pick one for the rest of your life, right? You got the pedal bike or you got the moto. Which one you keeping?
That's tough.
I know,
tough.
right?
I think that's tough. I think the bicycle will be something that I can do almost until my deathbed.
Yeah.
I don't think the moto is something that I can do quite as long. Fuck though, but if I had to pick one, and I love the bicycles, I love them so much, and they taught me a lot. But every time that I have taken a step back from moto, and I get back and ride moto, which happened to me in 2020 when COVID hit and the bicycle stuff got canceled, and I picked up a dirt bike after not having one for 5 years. I said, I was like, I'll never, ever, ever not have a dirt bike, and yeah, the dirt bike makes me so happy. The afterglow that I have of after I ride, that trickles for me. And in the next few days, I would have to go and do a 4 to 6 hour mountain bike ride to feel the sense of calmness and tranquility that I feel after leaving the track after doing 4 motos,
Yeah.
And it's just it's a different experience for my family. My wife is way more involved at the motocross track than when she would just be following me up to different aid stations or feed stations, as I'm just so cracked, so yeah, long story short, moto, yeah, if I could only do one and only have one, I'm gonna twist the grip, whether that's fast, slow, in a field, on a track, in a trail. I'm gonna twist the throttle for sure. Or blame it on
that's a tough question. I was kind of sitting there thinking when Cason said it, I was like, oh man, I gotta ask him something good. I was like, this is one that would tear me up too. So yeah, it's nice. That's good. I almost thought you were gonna go with bicycle.
It's just different. It's different, and maybe that'll change when Jagger starts picking his own path with the 2-wheel stuff, and I want him to do all of it and everything and all the things and find out what he's good at or has a knack for. But yeah, give me a set of handlebars and 2 wheels. It don't matter. If Lauren and I are on the Lime scooter hotel after the MGK show, you get the little bell and I'm on the sidewalk, off the sidewalk, I'm having a good time,
Just trying to get rad.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Well, dude, we appreciate your time, brother. As always, I love talking to you, and it's good for Ross to get to meet you and hear your story, and all of our viewers as well. We do this Hot Ones style, so what do you have coming up shortly, and what does Trolley Designs have coming up that's new and exciting that you can talk about? And at the end of that, tell people where they can follow you and follow your journey.
Yeah, so wrapping up fall 26 pre-book stuff for all of my dealers for the Trolley Designs business. This is the last week, so in the trenches doing computer follow-up stuff with that. And then we're chilling. Much well-earned break through December into the new year. We'll pick back up with heading to home office the week of Anaheim 1. We have our team launch the week of Anaheim 1, which I'm really excited about. Should be really cool to have an official launch with Barsha and the mechanics and the rest of the staff as well. And then yeah, what's up for me next year is more slinging the TLD Kool-Aid, baby. Riding as many mountain bike miles and motocross, rips as I can. Continue to gain expand my presence in this industry. That's really and then Jagger Kiddo will be 2 in April, so I'm sure there's going to be some sort of two-wheeled machine in the pipeline for next summer. That has me really excited. But yeah, that's really it. Find me inside of a motorcycle shop and or on the trail or at the track. Social media wise, you can follow along the journey at J-Mart _bites. Trolley Designs wise, cruise into your local brick and mortar dealer that slings our product. You can touch and feel it, and or go to our consumer site as well too. Feel free to shoot me a message or if you have any questions on the line. But yeah, peace, love, and wheelies, boys. That's all.
Yeah,
love it.
dog. Well, we appreciate you again, brother, and thank you for everybody listening and watching the podcast. Ross, what should they do, man, on YouTube? What do they got to do?
Go like, subscribe, watch. We need that
Do it all.
1,000 subscribers, man. That's the goal. It's my lofty goal for 2025. If I do one thing this year, I want 1,000 subscribers.
Hell yeah. Oh, thanks for listening to Ridin The Line Podcast.
Yeah,
See
man. Cheers.
Huge shout out to the sponsors that keep this podcast rolling. First up, we have CTS Media. If your business needs better content, a fresh website, or full service digital marketing, CTS Media has you covered. Photography, videography, social media management, social media creation, Google Ads, Meta Ads, everything your business needs to look legit online, because let's face it, if you're not doing these things, you're falling behind to your competitors in today's world. Check it out at ctsmedia.org, link in description below. Next up, we have Shred It, You're On. They solve the classic problem every rider has. Your action cam blocks your jersey. Their jerseys keep your kit visible on camera and look sick doing it. Grab one at shredityourOn.com. Finally, we have Gutter Getters, your go-to for home maintenance. Whether it's gutter cleaning, roof care, pressure washing, small repairs, deck repairs, they handle it all. Hit the link or give them a call below.